What's going on, everybody? Another episode here today of Putting You in Your Place. Last week we talked about Midtown, and we're kind of trying to dive into some local news, pretty much, I guess. Some like what would be interesting to some people around our area. And today we've got a controversial thing going on in Christiansburg. They're trying to spend $18 million on a park in Christiansburg in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah.
So we've done some research there. A colleague of ours, Joanna Hicks, she's a Realtor member here in the New River Valley. She's also on town council. She's been very, very outspoken against that, and we commend her for that. We think that that's the right thing. We think that's the right thing.
Yeah.
You know, when you don't know what's going to be coming in on revenue, with the shortage of sales tax, it's going to be we're going to be way short on. I think there's cause for delay on a project like that. What you think? You think that?
No,
I think
I agree.
Very practical to not spend that kind of money when businesses are going out of business every day because of this thing.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. They've been working on this since like 2013, but I mean, you've had 7 years to figure it out, and then now you're going to start it in the middle of a pandemic.
Right.
I mean, that just doesn't seem like a smart idea.
No, not at all.
I mean, some residents say they're going to feel the financial impact of the park because they think they're going to raise taxes, even though the mayor said that they weren't. I mean, I don't see how, if it's barely 50% funded, that they would be able to not be able to raise taxes.
Yeah.
Did I say that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So
the tax increase is inevitable when you're going to have such a shortfall in this year's budget.
Yeah.
I mean, with Regal Cinemas going down alone, how much sales tax was generated just on that site? I mean, a bunch. A bunch. So when you lose a big business like that, when you know those movie theaters were bringing in out of area people. You know, you getting Radford people, you getting Withville people, you getting I mean, a lot of people from Salem would prefer coming down here than going to Roanoke, than going to the city movie theaters.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from Blacksburg, and I would go there.
Yeah.
So, and we have Paragon.
Right. So we got an IMAX over here, and Blacksburg people are going to Christiansburg to go to that theater.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, a little off topic. I just think it's a little bit nicer unless you buy the IMAX ticket.
Right.
That's just my opinion.
Yeah. So and we could get into the how devastating is it that the movie industry, the entertainment industry, is just non-existent, you know, for people. It's demoralizing, you know, because some people, a good friend of mine was going to 4 or 5 movies a week. He had like the unlimited pass.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Nice.
Yeah. So this is just a moment here that people within the community of Christiansburg need to really be outspoken on good fiscal policy. And good fiscal policy is probably not building an $18 million park.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like from what I've seen, the people in Christiansburg aren't necessarily against it. They just think that right now it's not a smart idea, because I think everyone's sort of in an agreement that having a park on that side of town is a good idea, but just building it right now, I mean, I don't know.
Can't you table that for 24 months and reapproach it after you've seen the numbers that are coming in? Because all they're working on is projections.
Yeah.
Like what they would have expected in a normal time. We're not anywhere in a normal time right now.
Yeah.
So our opinion on the subject is that we have a real estate advocate on council, and on a real estate matter, they're not letting that be heard. I mean, she would be number one proponent on most any real estate development that's going to be responsible and beneficial at the same time to the community.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, like, I don't see why. Like, why now? I mean, their defense was that they want to create an outdoor space for people to go like walk around at. And I'm like, all right, how long do you think it's going to take to build that park? I mean, like, what? Maybe 12 months? 12 to 24 months? I mean,
maybe 24 months should be max.
Yeah, 24 months probably max. But like, let's just say, to be nice, 12 months it takes to build that park. By that time, hopefully the pandemic is kind of already like slowed down. We have some sort of cure out, and people can kind of start going out to live their lives. So now you've strained the locals, and there's no point in having. I mean, I'm not saying there's no point in having the park overall, but just I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a smart thing to do right now.
Yeah.
And that by the time it's done, the point that you made to build it is already gone.
So here's the thing: as a taxpayer in a community that wants to see the full benefit of their tax dollars at work, we want amenities, we want things, we want nice facilities. We want to be able to take advantage of that type of thing in our community, especially when we're paying an extraordinary amount compared to the people around us. Like the tax rate in these communities are high.
Yeah.
That's just, the nice way to put it is high.
Yeah.
I could say absurd, but it's just high. I'll just call it high.
Yeah.
So if they're high, you need to be able to show the things that you're doing with that money, or you're going to have people migrating out of the area. And the census data that I see, people are migrating out of the area. I mean, the local population here, people are coming for opportunities in Blacksburg. They realize Blacksburg's not affordable. They go to Christiansburg. Christiansburg's becoming a little bit the same way right now. They're migrating into Pulaski. And that's the migration pattern here in the New River Valley right now.
What about Radford? How's Radford look?
Radford is kind of an in-between. Like Radford and Pulaski, I would fit in the same box, kind of.
Gotcha.
The city of Radford actually is less people are migrating out of Radford quite well too. I mean, they're Radford, unless it's just a certain point in Radford, is littered with investment properties and people renting them.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
There's a lot of people that rent in Radford versus own.
Yeah.
Versus Pulaski. Pulaski, there's actually more people owning now, actually living in the home that they own, instead of it just being like completely rented, completely rented out neighborhoods.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So like one of the people, so they got some emails for WDBJ7 when they ran this news article. They got some people emailing them about it, and one person said that they're actually for it and not against it. Like as of right now, like they're totally for it.
Yeah.
And they were saying that they wanted it because it was gonna bring in more people from like out of the area. Like I don't know, how true do you think that? I mean, it would have to be one heck of a facility for it to start bringing people that aren't from Christiansburg to there. Don't you think?
Yeah, I'm not sure exactly. You'd maybe have to go deep into what they were thinking there. Maybe they were coming in to visit others, and they were going to take advantage. Like, hey, we're going to come and visit. Let's go to the park.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But I can't believe that would be something that somebody from like Wythe County or Pulaski County would make a special trip up here to take advantage of. Like, oh, let's go to Christiansburg and go to the park. Yeah. I mean, Pulaski's got a big park, so they can take advantage of their own park, Randolph Park.
I mean, the only way that I could see other people from other cities or towns coming here, like to that park, would be like if there was like a soccer game going on, and like because they're saying like they're going to build like 4 huge fields. Yeah.
Now, if there's inter-county like sports, if there's like rec sports, see, I don't know that rec sports crosses over like that. So like Pulaski County doesn't play Christiansburg. I don't think so. I think there's just a bunch of Christiansburg teams that play each other. And then there's a bunch of Pulaski teams that play each other. I could be wrong, but that's how it was when I was back in the day and I was playing basketball and baseball and stuff like that. We never really crossed over to playing the other counties. We just played within the county that we were in, or the town that we were in, actually.
Yeah. See, I never did rec sports, so like I don't know, and I haven't been here long enough to know.
Right.
But yeah, I guess that makes sense. But I don't know. I felt really bad for this one person that did send an email. It was from an elderly lady, and she was really worried that they were going to raise taxes because of this park, because she's already strained really tight on like her Social Security and her pension plan.
Yeah.
And if they did this and they had to raise her taxes, that she's afraid that she won't be able to live, basically.
Right.
So, I mean, that's like a huge, and I'm sure she's not the only one. So
yeah,
that's like a huge problem in my eyes.
I mean, realistically, it's very hard to make it in Christiansburg on a government type income, unlike anybody that needs a budget of $500 or less. It's hard to live in Christiansburg.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost impossible. It's hard to buy a house. If you need a $500 a month payment and you bought a house with that payment, you'd only get an $85,000 house.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't buy a $85,000 house in Christiansburg unless it's a total redo.
Mm-hmm.
In most cases.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, there's one in Christiansburg in Cambria that's literally about to fall down for $50K.
Mm.
And the land is, I mean, the land would be worth more if the house wasn't there.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't really have anything else really to say about it other than I think it's a really
Our opinion
bad idea.
here is that they need to table that deal. And we we're bringing this topic up so people of the community can hear somebody talking about it that they know, and form an opinion on it. We need more engagement from this community, and more accountability for the people making these decisions. For us, all they have to do is decide what they want to do. It's up to us to say what they've done is right or wrong when we go to vote for them.
Yeah.
So those are the things. We need an energized, involved local local community.
Mm-hmm.
We need to have people that are engaged in what's going on.
Yeah.
Or we're going to just keep getting the shaft. We're going to keep getting decisions made for us that aren't in our interest, that we even care about.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's the whole reason that our ancestors fought. It was no taxation without representation.
Right.
And now
we're putting people in representation that we're not even holding accountable.
Yeah, I know. That's what. Yeah. It's
crazy.
We have our first comment from Christian on Facebook. Weston, can you read that?
I don't have it pulled up on Facebook.
I got it on Facebook. So if it's hard in Pulaski and Giles for 500, Christy, it's definitely hard in Christiansburg for 500. In Pulaski, the tax rate's a little lower. You can actually get more house in Pulaski and Giles for that amount of money. You might actually be able to go to about $92,000, where you can only go to $85,000 in Christiansburg. But $500 living on the government pay that you would be if you were disabled, and you had to allot $500 a month for your payment because you needed to eat and function and get around. It's impossible. I mean, people are living in the red every month. Their bank accounts going in the red, and they're getting fees charged to them from their lending institutions, and they're just on a constant cycle of debt. And that has a lot to do with the decisions that are being made to raise the taxes.
Yeah. Yeah. But they did say that they're not going to raise the taxes. So.
Yeah. I don't ever believe they're not trying to raise taxes.
Yeah. Speaking of taxes, are realtor commissions tax deductible? I was just
all right, realtor commissions tax deductible. Well, the money that I earn will be a part of that is going to be expense.
Mm-hmm.
So a part of that is going to go off, my tax liability sheet. So we formulated that I'm taking about 30% to the bottom line. So if I'm making $10,000, for every $10,000, I'm clearing $3,000.
Got it.
So yeah, because there's gas involved and overhead involved, and all this. I can deduct all the investments that I'm making for the business. So yeah, if I don't make any money, I don't pay any taxes.
Yeah.
So
if you're like a realtor for like a broker.
Yeah.
Right, but like your broker takes care of all like the overhead and the stuff that they use, so that would be like a no, right?
Well, there is overhead from my broker.
Okay.
See what?
No. It's different for you though, because you have like a team and like stuff like that in your own business. I'm talking about like if you were to just work for a broker. Yeah. Not you specifically, just like you as in people that are realtors.
Well, that's what we all do.
Yeah.
Like I work for Amy Hudson.
Right.
She's my broker.
Right.
I do pay her.
Mm-hmm.
See, I pay to play. I pay her to work for her,
mm-hmm.
to work under her company. I'm paying her 6% of my gross and $7,200 a year.
Mm-hmm.
So, that right there is coming off of my gross income.
Right.
So that is tax deductible. So
Okay.
on my gross, when I'm trying to formulate my net income,
mm-hmm.
that all comes off. So when I'm making $400,000, we've eclipsed $400,000 this year. If I'm taking 30% to the bottom line, $90K, something like that.
Got it.
And then, after all my expenses are included in one of the 30% categories.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm giving 30% to my expenses, I'm giving 30% to Uncle Sam,
mm-hmm.
and I'm taking 30% home, that's not quite 100%,
Okay.
but there's some fractions in there.
Yeah.
There, I'm just giving you round numbers, but
mm-hmm.
That's kind of how we formulate it.
Okay.
And then hopefully I'm going to be getting a good return because I can expense a lot more than I'm anticipating.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So I'm just trying to figure out it would make more sense for a realtor to go and start their own team, because then they could reduce, or I don't know, they could tax more of their commission, right? Or tax deductible.
The reason why you want to start a team is because you want some sort of leverage
mm-hmm.
in life.
Yeah.
Or you want to really blow your business up.
Yeah.
Because as an individual agent, realistically, if you're playing all the parts that I've set up here,
mm-hmm.
you're only capable of maybe 35 deals a year. So 35 deals a year, and you're doing nothing but work.
Right.
You have no, right now I'm doing nothing but work,
mm-hmm.
but I'm trying to leverage this to be a 200 unit per year machine. And I don't have any salespeople involved now, which is what we're hoping for. We're hoping to recruit salespeople to get us there. But so what we're setting up, there's a plan of that, of I would like to have a life again one day.
Yeah.
I would like to get off the wheel, so to speak.
Yeah. Before you came into that meeting that we just had with Mary Frances, that's what she was saying. She was like, we need more buyer's agents to help you with your life balance, your life to work balance.
Yeah.
So, and I totally agree. Yeah. Are your realtor fees included in the mortgage? I kind of already know the answer, but
realtor fees included in the mortgage. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
When you buy a house as a buyer, you don't pay a commission.
Mm-hmm.
You don't pay for my service as a buyer. Now, when you go to sell the house, then it's going to be a 6% fee.
Gotcha.
So the seller's customarily paying. Now, I did have an example recently where we got a pretty good deal on the place. The buyer and the seller kind of worked it out, but the buyer wanted my counsel. The
mm-hmm.
buyer wanted me to walk things through, and they valued me enough to bring me along on the deal, and they paid my 3%, not the seller. But that's the anomaly of the
mm-hmm. situation. Mm-hmm.
So buyers don't have to worry about those fees because those are included from the seller.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. What about our realtor fees included in capital gains? So I first would like to explain to people what capital gains are.
Sure.
You're probably better at explaining it than I am, though.
Well, it's the gain you would receive after you sold an investment property.
Gotcha.
And so the profit
mm-hmm.
there would be subject to government taxation if you made profit and it wasn't your primary residence.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
So if it's not your primary residence and it was just a business transaction, and you don't take the proper steps for the 1031 tax exchange, then you're going to be subject to, I think it's maybe 15% now.
Okay.
I think that's the rate. I'm not 100% sure.
No, I mean, I know it's high, but I don't know how high it is.
It used to be higher.
Okay.
It used to be higher.
Yep.
So and we did a video on that before. We can link it about the policy on 1031 exchanges. So link that up here for them to watch on that might be going away.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you're not smart about your money, you're going to lose a lot of it to Uncle Sam.
Yeah, I gotcha. So are realtor fees included in that capital gains?
No, because what you're going to base your taxation off the net.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to pay me, you're going to pay the title, you're going to concede anything to the buyer that you've promised them, and then you're on whatever it is you're putting in your pocket, then you're going to get taxed on that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I kind of understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, here, let's clear it up.
Okay. Yeah.
So if you got $100,000,
mm-hmm.
if you got $100,000,
right.
but then your expenses was the 6% commission and all the other little fees, the tax, transfer taxes, the title company, the whatever you got to pay for, pest inspections,
mm-hmm.
inspections, anything like that. If you walk away with $20,000, you're getting taxed on 20 grand unless you're rolling that over into another investment.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're saying. All right, that makes sense.
Cool.
Let's see. How negotiable? So we kind of talked about realtor rates in the past. I think it was like actually I want to say it was the last podcast that we talked about, or maybe the podcast before that, where we talked about realtor rates. How like negotiable are those?
So are you talking about?
Well, for all right. So I guess we'll start with how negotiable are rates for you.
You're talking about my commission rate, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I guess how negotiable are they? You don't have to give examples of other realtors, but like versus other realtors.
Everything's negotiable.
Okay.
It's the ones that understand their value, that demand, a proper fee, which is what I hope to be. I'll discount a fee once in a while for somebody that's very loyal to me, that's always referring me, that I know is my client, that there's no chance I'm ever going to lose these people. Like there's opportunity for that, especially if you're like a high volume person. Like I'm doing a lot of deals with Jason Grubb, right? Mm-hmm. So he and I he's referring me people, he's doing things for me. So we got a deal worked out where if he's finding deals off market and he wants me to just write the deal, it's a small flat fee. I'm going to work for him on the backside and he's going to pay me a full fee, right? But so everything's negotiable. I think agents need to understand their value. And like another video we did, I think if I'm going to take the discount, I'm not going to punish. If you were the buyer's agent, I'm not going to say, well, I took the discount, let's share the discount. That was my decision. It was my decision to give you a break. And I'm not going to force a discount on a buyer's agent because of my lack or my willingness to concede on my money. It's not fair. Mm-hmm. That's not a fair way to go. And I'm very passionate about that. When I see a buyer's agent commission at anything less than 3%, I'm very disappointed. It disappoints me tremendously that you don't value my time enough to bring you my buyer that's going to pay more commission to you and also make your seller the most amount of money. Obviously my goal for my buyer is not to do that, but that's typically what I've got. And in this market, that's the thing about hot markets too. When you get a hot market, everything gets diluted. Like our value doesn't seem to be as much. But honestly, it is.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it just seems really, really easy right now because everything's going through really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You diminish your own value long term by thinking that you need to take the discount today. Mm-hmm. Right.
That makes sense.
I feel like more agents need to get highly trained, and look at what we're going through. Mm-hmm. Look how much skill is actually needed today. With handling multiple offers, with actually winning in a multiple offer situation. Like navigating the real estate landscape today is not easy. I mean, it might seem like the product sells itself, but anybody can open a door. A monkey could open a door, but the processing of getting you through from contract to closing, that's where all the value is. So we hope to have created this conveyor belt of a process to get you from closing or from contract to closing without any hassle, but when humans are involved, like some things go off the rails, but knowing that things can go off the rails is another benefit because we can kind of temper the emotion, and this thing can get super, super emotional. So a guy like me doing 80 deals a year knows how to calm things down, knows how to put reason in, the sales training that I've got over the years and just the devastation of losing deals in the past. I understand what these people are going through now, and I can empathize and kind of temper everything to let's just get this thing back on track. And that's valuable. In my opinion, that's super valuable.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like other realtors, are they negotiable on their fees? I mean, I know you said that you're pretty negotiable.
Well, I'm actually not that negotiable unless you're unless you're on the customer loyalty program.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
So if you're brand new for me, then I'm not usually. You've contacted me to list your house. I'm probably gonna charge the full rate on the first go round.
makes sense.
But if you start sending me referrals and we start like really connecting, and you need anything from me, there's been clients I've been working with for 12 years. Like a year after I got in, I've been working with them for 95% of my career. And I take phone calls from them and give them advice and talk them through problems in life and help them make decisions throughout the process. I only get paid when things close. So I'm punching the clock for 12 years, So when I perform, I'd like to get paid.
Yeah.
But so people have a hard time understanding that the clock is always punched. When you call me, boom, clocked in. When we hang up, boom, clocked out. But you got my knowledge, you got my perspective, and that's worth something long term.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. Let's see here. What else we got? Some of these we've kind of already answered, so I'm just trying to pick out my favorite ones. Are realtor fees part of the closing cost? Wait, we kind of already went over that. We already went over that. All right, so we kind of answered most of these questions. So I have my own questions. So I've started looking at wholesale real estate. Yeah. Do you work with wholesalers? Well, is Jason a wholesaler, or is he just a flipper?
No, he would find a house that didn't need work and get it and buy it and then contact me to raise the price on it. And there's some moral things about that I can't be involved with as far as code of ethics type things. But for you to be able to go out and find the deals yourself, contract themselves, whatever financing you line up with hard money or whatever that you can do to be able to perform on some, because you can't really assign every contract. Your assignments are going to run out sometimes. Yeah. So you might not want to miss an opportunity and go get just some hard money financing. But for me, I've got a code of ethics that I've got to live by. And for me to come in and go into a house and say, I'll pay $50,000 for this, and then come back and sell it for $80,000 and do nothing for that, that's not me being a fiduciary for somebody that called me to give them my best advice. And a lot of times, you'll hear me say, if you were like I was giving you some advice on the situation, I've always got to end it with, that's my best advice, and so if that means like not selling the house or using it as a rental or like telling you that, hey, I could buy this, but it's actually worth this, and we should just list it for that, and like you'd make more money. And if they say, oh yeah, well that makes sense, let's just do that, then I'll do that. But if they say, no, I don't want the hassle of that, you can just buy it for that, I want you to buy it, then I don't have any the ethics, I've done my ethical duty at that point. So, but, the wholesaling thing for me is not a standard practice.
Gotcha. So it's not like an ethical thing.
But for you, it's somebody that's not really trying to be in the real estate sales business. You're just trying to get in the real estate. You're just trying to be in the real estate business, not the sales business. Yeah. It's perfectly fine if you go and find these deals yourself, contract them, get an agreement, and then try to find somebody to assign that contract to for $5,000 profit, real quick. Yeah. There's plenty of training programs out there for you to be able to like learn how to do that.
Yeah, because see, that's what I was doing. Like over the weekend, I was like looking at ways, because I really want to like get into real estate, but I don't have a lot of startup capital. Yeah. And so I came across wholesale real estate because I think it was like a tag actually there's like a pre-made tag in your YouTube when I started working here that said wholesale real estate. Yeah. So I started looking into it, and that's how I got started.
You know what would be cool is if you leveraged your job here to get pre-approved to see what you're capable of buying, and like, because you don't need any money down. Like with what you earn here, you won't need any money down, and just go through the process of being like when Dave Sheeler comes in, we might do like a live pre-approval, or something like that. Like we won't give any of your personal information, of course. Okay. But he can kind of go through the process of it. And I think it'd just be entertaining, to have that on a show. So if you're open to that, just seeing where you are, because your first step in the real estate is probably going to be something of like your own personal house. Yeah. Probably.
Yeah. I mean, there was like a couple different things that I was thinking of. Like first, thing would be like house hacking. Obviously, I get like a house like 200,000 or something like that, and then rent out like the other 2 rooms or whatever. Like say it's like a 3-bedroom, 2-bed.
As young as you are, you need to take roommates. You need to take full advantage of you making good decisions and just having a couple buddies come and pay you $400 a month each.
Yeah.
And making the payment.
Yeah. Well, the idea would be to like have that house pay for itself with roommates.
Yeah.
And then I just have to pay like utilities, and then at the end, I'm pretty sure you can like use the equity on that house to put it on another down payment for another house.
You can leverage that.
Then,
you can definitely leverage that.
And then do a long-term rental for that house, and then start it that way.
So then, that would be the perfect strategy for you. Like if I was giving advice to someone your age, it would be just that. Go and leverage your current income for the best house you can possibly get. Go and find you a couple of guys to that are going to make sure you know them well enough that they're not going to stiff you. Yeah. You know, but charge them a flat fee. Don't come to them and say, "Hey, we got power bill. Hey, we got water bill." Charge them a flat fee, and you just handle, you know, the remaining amount and the utilities. Make it seamless for them. Make it painless. Yeah. Where they just make one payment, and keep them happy, and then when you're ready. Don't ever buy another house that you have to pay for again. Like the next one you're going to buy is going to be pure rental. It's going to be pure rental. It's going to be nothing but passive income for you to go buy that car that you've always wanted. Yeah. You know, to make that $1,000 a month car payment. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm buying that's $1,000 a month.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I'm sure you've got a picture of a car that would, if you financed it, would be $1,000 a month.
Yeah, I got like 10 cars on my list. I'm just kidding. Yeah, no, that was the plan though. But then I started looking into like, so that was like plan A, and then plan B, or almost sort of like simultaneously do like wholesale real estate on the side. Yeah. So that way, two streams of income already on top of like this. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I was just, and then I'm like starting to learn more about the back end of like marketing.
It's a hard moral thing for some people. Because some people are pure capitalists, and some people have empathy for people. Like, you know, the stigma about wholesaling real estate is that you're ripping people off. Yeah, you know,
that's the vibe I got from it. But then they put it in like a different way. Like some of the people that I was watching that do this for a living.
Well, yeah,
they said that they do it because they see it as more of like a convenience fee for people that are like really into like flipping. It's like they don't have time to go and find the good deals, so you find the good deals and then make it worth their time to like take the offer.
Oh yeah, I mean it is all. I mean people do want convenience. Yeah, like they've got to get somewhere in a hurry, but at the same time, like if they just need to get somebody, if they need to get somewhere in a hurry, there's still better options of not giving your money away. Like you don't have to give so much away to somebody. You know, we're hearing a lot in the news about the middleman, right? Yeah. Like I just that to me, like the pure capitalist, like I said, the pure capitalist, hey, we got an agreement, you're happy, I'm happy, boom, no big deal. Yeah. But then there's some that was like, you know, like they were not educated. They were not informed about what they had, and you were ready to come and take advantage of that. Yeah, and get that money.
So like what they were saying in like some of those videos I was watching, there are 2 different ways to like close on like the wholesale deal. There's just like they straight up like they know how much you've made, you just get a check at the end. And then there was another way where it was like a double closing or something like that. Yeah. I don't understand. Yeah. Do you know that?
Yeah, there's sandwich closings and those terms like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Can you explain that to me? Because I'm still like super confused of like what that means.
Yeah. All right. The sandwich closing is when the wholesaler is actually thinking that or the buyer and the wholesaler, I'm sorry, the seller and the wholesaler have an agreement, and the wholesaler and the buyer have an agreement, but they don't know about it. They each have no idea. So they actually put a closing together for the wholesaler and the seller, and then they sandwich that at the same time. The buyer's walking in. So gotcha. but it never records. It never records in the wholesaler's name, and if it does, it's like they're walking into the courthouse, recording it in one guy's name, and then recording it into the buyer's name. You know, so yeah, that's the instance where the seller and the buyer don't really know what's going on, but the wholesaler's worked it all out, and they're going to just sandwich it together.
Yeah, because like the idea was that way the buyer wouldn't know how much money you've made on the deal.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes more sense now.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So now I got a better idea of like wholesale real estate. Now I really don't know if I want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good idea.
I like
to make.
I like as young as you are, you need to amass. Like if I'm giving my best real estate advice, it's to buy places that you never intend to sell.
Yeah.
To get enough generated passive income for you to live the lifestyle you want to live.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, the goal for me by like at least 30 would be to have at least like 10 properties that I'm renting out.
That's a good goal.
So, I mean, I think that's pretty manageable. I don't have to be like
you could start your own.
hands-on.
You could realize that property management. It might not be the Airbnb management, but you can still get into the management game.
Yeah, I think for Airbnb, if I was to do that, again, I would go to like Richmond or something. Still stay in Virginia, but like go to Richmond where it's more accepted, I guess.
What we need to do is just get it accepted in this town and influence the power to make good decisions.
Yeah, it sounds like it'd be really hard. Just based off of the like last week talking about the taxation on Midtown, and then this week about the $18 million park. Yeah, it just seems like it'd be really hard.
We need a culture shift here in Blacksburg for sure. We need some. I would say. I mean, it's just full of people that just want to spend.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we need a conservative voice on that panel, I think. So again, like I want to continue to talk about the people in power, almost challenge them to put their pictures up on the website. When we went to that website and we went to the roster and they didn't have a picture of themselves up, that's kind of crazy in my mind.
It seemed kind of weird, yeah.
Yeah.
That people on town council just didn't have their pictures on there. And watching the videos, unless you're there in person, it's really hard to tell who's who.
Yeah.
Because I can't see their names on the little
plaque.
card. Yeah, the little plaque. I mean to bump that. But,
yeah.
I mean, that's all I had for this. I don't know if you had anything you wanted to bring up.
I mean, not really. I mean, I'm just, it's our Thanksgiving episode, right?
Yeah.
Like, we need to be more aware of, like, the Halloween episode.
Yeah.
That would have been cool to be, like, put some sort of costume together or, like, for Christmas, get the Santa hat, or something like that. I'm just so grateful and thankful just to be alive, man. I mean, just to be, we're going through some crazy things in the world and there's a lot of division in the world. And I just think we need to take a minute and realize that we're living in a free country and that we have great opportunities and we have things that people in the world don't have. We got what we would call first world problems, and it's really time to reflect, enjoy your family if you can get to your family safely. And we wish you nothing but prosperity and the best. And if we could ever be any value to you guys, please reach out. Please, if you want to know how we did this, you want some advice on that, we're way open to collaboration. We're open to talking with anybody. We're just open. We're open. We want to help. We want to influence. And I don't know. I'm just hopeful. I'm grateful.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, people don't want to miss next episode either.
Yeah.
Because we're bringing on a guest, and he's like really big deal in Dallas.
Cool. So we're trying to get more interviews out of. We're going to start trying to interview people that we look up to, that have been able to do what we like to do, and bring some more perspective to kind of what we got going on. So I guess we'll just do that shameless plug, find it, subscribe to the YouTube channel, find us on YouTube or on TikTok and Instagram. Follow us anywhere you are on social media because we're there. We're even on Parler. So like find us anywhere that's gaining any kind of attention or traction. And I guess until next time.
Yep.
Good?
Yep.
Cool.